President Trump now says that cabinet secretaries and agency heads should be the ones making personnel decisions, specifically when it comes to deciding how many and which federal employees to cut. The president saying Elon Musk and the Department of Government officially will make recommendations, not issue unilateral decisions, but warns that Musk can and will step in if necessary. This revised guidance comes amid weeks of confusion, criticism, protests, and with the administration backtracking on some of those cuts. NewsNation's Joe Khalil is live for us there on Capitol Hill. And Joe, you have some new reporting on yesterday's private cabinet meeting that did include Elon Musk.
Yeah, well, he met with cabinet officials just after he met with House and Senate Republicans this week. We have been talking to Republicans for quite a few weeks now. Many of them privately will tell us they are fully behind DOGE and its efforts to cut federal spending and to make government more efficient. But many of them have complaints about how DOGE has been going about doing it, and it seems like those private complaints are now a bit more public. The New York Times just coming out with some reporting. Again, this is a New York Times report that the White House now tells us they deny, but they say during that cabinet meeting yesterday, Secretary Rubio and Elon Musk clashed pretty severely, and this was over DOGE. Elon Musk, according to the New York Times reporting, not happy with the pace at which the State Department under Secretary Rubio has been firing people, and there was disagreement about the way that DOGE and Elon Musk had been pressuring agencies to let people go. So some of that now we are hearing more of. Again, privately, what I can tell you and what I have heard from several Republican senators and House members is they feel a bit more comfortable today than they did a couple of days ago after having spoken with Elon Musk. It does appear like he is at least hearing them out. They go back to their home districts or their home states, and in some cases, they are hearing it from whether it's federal workers or whether it's universities that rely on federal grants or farmers in many cases that rely on federal dollars. There have been a lot of people who have been impacted by cuts or freezes in funding. So it appears as though these types of conversations are now happening, and it appears that President Trump is also getting the message. Take a look at what he put out on Truth Social following this cabinet meeting. He says it was a positive one. That's President Trump's words here. He says, "It is important that we cut levels down to where they should be, but it is also important to keep the best and most productive people," which is a shift in tone from just a couple weeks ago when DOGE was, again, taking the sort of sledgehammer approach rather than the scalpel approach. President Trump saying specifically that the scalpel approach is the one that they should be taking. And by the way, other cabinet secretaries, people like Sean Duffy, the transportation secretary, just posting in the last half hour or so that the quote unquote scalpel approach is the right way to go. In other words, not mass layoffs, but going more strategically, finding out who is important, who is maybe cuttable in certain agencies, and allowing not DOGE, but secretaries to make those decisions for their respective agencies. Take a listen to Congressman Chip Roy. He's part of the House Freedom Caucus. He was in the room with Elon Musk this week. We talked to Chip Roy shortly after that. This is how he said he feels now after having been at that meeting.
They're identifying areas that need to be dealt with immediately, and the administration is taking action appropriately. And if they do something or they've gotten something maybe a little overbroad, they've changed it. And Elon has said that. I'm not worried about that at all.
Again, I do want to stress that several of these Republicans we've spoken to, they are firmly behind DOGE and its mission. They don't have any issues with that. The issues that they have expressed, some privately, some publicly, have just been with the way in which DOGE and some others have carried it out.
All right. Joe Khalil live for us there on Capitol Hill. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.